Hello everyone. Have you ever wondered whether a computer can think like a homeopath? Can a machine analyze the symptoms, understand a patient's case, and help to find out the simillimum? It may sound like science fiction, but the truth is that artificial intelligence (AI) is already entering the world of homeopathy. Today, we are going to explore how modern technologies like Bayesian analysis, neural network, fuzzy logic, and polarity analysis are changing the way we look at repertorization and the remedy selection. And don't worry, if these terms sound complicated, by the end of this video, you will understand them in the simplest possible way. Let's begin with a simple question. Imagine three experienced homeopaths are studying the same case. All three have the same repertory, the same materia medica, and the same patient. Yet, each one arrives at a different remedy. Why does this happen? Because repertorization is not only about collecting the symptoms, it is also about interpreting them, weighing their importance, and deciding which symptoms matter most. This is exactly where artificial intelligence tries to help. AI doesn't replace the homeopath. Instead, it helps to organize information, identify patterns, and support clinical decision making. Let's start with the first concept, Bayesian analysis. Imagine a patient comes with fear, anxiety, and restlessness. At this stage, many remedies are possible. Aconite, arsenic, belladonna, gelsemium, and several others may come to your mind. But then the patient suddenly says, Doctor, I feel I am going to die tonight. Immediately, something changes in your mind. The possibility of aconite suddenly becomes much stronger. Why? Because that symptom is highly characteristic of aconite. This is exactly how Bayesian analysis works. Every new symptom changes the probability of a remedy. Think of a detective solving a crime. At first, there are many suspects. As new clue appears, some suspects become more likely while others become less likely. Bayesian analysis simply applies the same logic to the remedy selection. The next concept is neural networks. This is one of the most fascinating area of artificial intelligence. A neural network is designed to learn from experience, just like the human brain. Think about your own journey in the homeopathy. When you first studied materia medica, every remedy looked confusing. But after seeing hundreds of cases, you started recognizing the patterns. You hear fear of death after fright and immediately think of aconite. You hear grief with sighing and ignitia comes to your mind. You hear irritable businessman who cannot tolerate contradiction and Naxomica appears in your mind almost automatically. Your brain has learned a patterns. Neural networks try to do exactly the same thing. Imagine feeding a computer 10,000 successfully treated homeopathic cases. The computer begins noticing patterns that repeat again and again. Over time, it learns which symptoms combination commonly point towards the certain remedies. When a new case is entered, the system compares it with thousands of previous cases and suggests likely remedies. In a way, it is an learning from experience, just as a homeopath does. Now let's move to the fuzzy logic. This concept exists because real patients rarely give perfect answers. Suppose you ask a patient, "Does cold weather aggravates you?" The patient replies, "Sometimes, yes, but not always." Now what you should write? Yes or no? Real life is rarely black and white. Patients often live in shades of grey. Fuzzy logic allows symptoms to exist somewhere between completely present and completely absent. The symptom can be strongly present, moderately present, weakly present, or uncertain. This mirrors actual clinical practice much better than rigid yes or no thinking. An even more advanced version is called intuitionistic fuzzy sets. Here, the system asks not only whether a symptom is present but also how certain we are about that information. It acknowledges a simple truth. Patients are not always sure, and homeopaths are not always sure either. Finally, let's us talk about polarity analysis. This method was developed by Heiner Free and has become one of the most practical innovations in modern repertorization. Imagine a patient says, "I am extremely thirsty. I feel better from warmth. I want people around me when I am sick." After repertorization, two remedies appear at the top, pulsatilla and arsenic. Now let's look closer. Pulsatilla is famous for thirstlessness. The patient is very thirsty. That is a contradiction. Polarity analysis immediately notices this conflict. Instead of asking which remedy covers the most symptoms, it asks a different question. Which remedy contradicts the patient? Sometimes eliminating the wrong remedy is more important than finding the right one. That is the beauty of polarity analysis. So if we simplify everything, Bayesian analysis asks which symptom increases the probability of a remedy. Neural network asks what patterns have been seen in thousands of previous cases. Fuzzy logic asks how certain are we about the symptom. Polarity analysis asks, does this remedy contradict the patient? Four different questions, four different methods, one common goal, finding the simillimum more accurately. Now, does this mean computers will replace homeopaths? I don't think so. A computer can analyze the data. A computer can recognize patterns. A computer can process thousands of remedies in seconds, but a computer cannot truly understand the human suffering. It cannot feel the grief behind a patient's words. It cannot appreciate the emotional nuance of a life story. It cannot replace empathy, observations, intuitions, and clinical wisdom. The future of homeopathy is unlikely to be humans versus machine. It will be humans working together with the intelligent tools. The homeopaths will continue to understand the patient, while technology will help the process information more efficiently, and perhaps that combination will make remedy selection more accurate than ever before. So, the next time you hear terms like Bayesian analysis, neural networks, fuzzy logic, or polarity analysis, don't think of them as a complicated mathematical theories. Think of them as a different ways of answering four simple questions. How likely is the remedy? What patterns does the case resemble? How reliable is the symptom? And does the remedy contradict the patient? Understanding these concepts may well be the first step towards the future of homeopathic repertorization. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for Longani Clinics for more videos on modern homeopathy, repertorization, mathematics, artificial intelligence and cutting edge clinical concepts. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video.